morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, dear great Biafrans and lovers of freedom. This is Radio Biafra House of Service, coming to you through the auspices of Radio Biafra London. My name remains Maz Jonathan Chinedu. Today is the 7th day of April in the year of our Lord 2022, being Thursday. Without taking any much time, I will hand over the platform to the head of the Directorate of States of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Chika Edoziem. Mazi, please, over to you.
Thank you very much, Mazi Jonathan. Am I coming out clear, please?
You are coming out crystal clear.
Thank you so much once again. Let me begin to greet the great and wonderful people of Biafra. I want to say good evening to you, good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good night to you, depending on your time, location at this very moment. My name is Mazi Chika Edoziem. I come from Ihe Oma. Ihe Oma is in Olu province of Biafra land. And then by the grace of Chukwu Okike Abiyama Pumihenine, I serve the indigenous people of Biafra, led by Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the Directorate of State as the head of Directorate. Once again, of course, we are all being updated by our lawyers as they visit our leader, and as always, he sends his greetings to all of you, all the IPOB family members worldwide who have remained tenacious, focused, and committed to this very struggle that heaven is in complete and absolute control. You are all in his prayers, and despite his conditions, we are all in his thoughts. And he, of course, prays that we must continue to remain faithful, loyal, and committed. April the 8th, 2022 is the court date for our case in the Abuja High Court. And our leader, Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, will be appearing in court. And we must, as we are wont to doing, as we are accustomed to doing, we must, as always, solidarize with him because he is leading us from the front, as he promised that he will lead from the front. On this very date, we shall embark on protests in the diaspora, and we must as well continue our unceasing supplication to Chukwu Okike Abiyama that he may take absolute control of that very day in that very court. We must, as always, show our presence at the Abuja High Court premises. And I want to ask those going to Abuja why you are on the way and why you are in Abuja. You must be very, very at alert and security conscious of your environment. In Biafra land, we shall lock down the length and breadth of Biafra land with a total sit at home. Every time our leader, this, of course, we are already aware of this. Every day that our case comes up in Abuja and our leader will be going to court in Abuja, the capital of the citadel of you, the least that we can do is to show that we are one with him physically and in spirit. And because at this very moment we have for now suspended every physical manifestations in terms of rallies and protests in Biafra land, we must show our solidarity that the world may know that they are holding the leader of more than 75 million indigenous Biafrans. Therefore, tomorrow is a total lockdown of the whole Biafra land. We do not want to see anything that will move around on that very day. Our May 30th Heroes and Heroines Day is approaching. And it is important that I make some clarifications, because I understand that there are some misunderstanding in a way during my last broadcast in this very matter. Our tactic may remains what it is, as our leader implanted it or placed it. That is, it is our heroes and heroines day of remembrance, the day we remember them, the day we recognize the sacrifices which they have made for our behalf, the ultimate sacrifice which they made, which is the reason why many of us are still alive today. But we are adopting a very different format for this year's May 30th Heroes Day. Before now, we have organized protests and rallies in cities and capitals around the world. This has always been our format of remembrance on 30th day of May every year. Most of these times, or most of the time during these rallies and protests, we know that very few locals attend these rallies and these protests, which results in our message having limited circulation among them. For this year, therefore, IPOB families worldwide are hereby mandated to organize lectures and symposia in halls and invite as many locals as possible for that very event. The purpose is to ensure that the locals come in a hall, sit down and hear our case, hear our story. In a way that usually things are done in civilized world, or usually things are done in most of these countries in Europe and America and South or North America, as the case may be. So we will organize symposiums and lectures and invite them to be part of that event. The theme of these lectures and symposia remain the same. As a matter of fact, it is Biafra and Biafra and Biafra. Our agitation for freedom, our agitation for liberty as a people, and of course, the usual prayer for our departed heroes and heroines should be done before the lectures commence. After the prayers have taken place, then the speeches and lectures will commence. Friends of Biafra and lovers of freedom that are sympathetic, those who are very sympathetic to our cause, these are the people that should be invited and encouraged to make speeches in support of our just cause for freedom and for our liberation as a people. I am making this clarification so that people do not misunderstand my last broadcast. It is not, as I understand it, people thought that we are celebrating independence. Of course, we are not celebrating independence because our independence is, of course, we like Chinua Achebe said, there was a country. Our independence has actually not been. It is still there. It is still subsisting, but it is after the new restoration that we will, of course, properly celebrate the independence of Biafra and the Biafran people. The enforcement last time and probably two previous broadcasts that I made, we informed our people to prepare themselves that this very month, April of 2022, will be the month and the date in which Fulani cows are no longer welcome in our land. The enforcement of the ban on Fulani cows in Biafra land will kick into effect by the end of this very month. The enforcement task force has been put together and they will kick into action without further announcement by the end of this very April. So any other people who still have finishing touches to put in their local or native cow husbandry ranches must endeavor to speed it up and make sure that their business is up and running by the end of this month. People may be wondering, why is IPOB banning Fulani cows in our land? There is a plethora of reasons for this very policy, some of which I will mention tonight. The number one relates to security. Security, because these cows are brought in by Fulani terrorists who, under the cover of herding cows, they will invade and occupy our forests, turn them into their base through which they commit heinous acts of terror in our land. They will come and, without any invitation, take over a community land. And if the community asks them, who brought you here? What are they doing here? It becomes a problem. That community is marked for destruction and extermination. These Fulani, they make our forests inaccessible to farmers and those who venture into these forests. They are either raped when they are women, our daughters, our mothers, even our grandparents. It does not matter to these people. They are raped, and those who are unlucky, their bodies will be decapitated and strewn all over the place as if these are no human beings. They will kidnap or kill us, in most cases, our men and our young women and our fathers. And what is the crime of these people that are being butchered? What is the crime of our women that have been defined by the uncircumcised? What are their crimes? Their crime is because they are Biafrans and they simply went to their farmland to farm or to cultivate, and they ended up not returning to their families anymore. They plan and they carry out their attacks on our communities from these bases that they have set up in our forest. And we all know, and it is still very fresh, from Enugu to Ebonyi, from Ebonyi to Abia State, to Imo State, to Anambra State, to Bayelsa, to Delta, to Rivers, just name it. All these Biafran territories, they have at one time or the other fallen victims of Fulani terrorism. And nobody says anything. Nobody do anything. And these things are happening because we allow the Fulani to bring their cows into the land. If they came in without bringing these cows, then we will know it. They will have shown themselves for what they are and for who they are. Simple terrorists, but under the cover of herding cows. And the argument will be that there is a clash of communities and Fulani herders, or that there is a conflict because of resources. What resources? Which conflict of resources that? And it's so sad when the government and those that speak for them tries very seriously to justify these acts of terror against our people. Number two, economic. Because I'm telling you some of the reasons that are behind our saying enough is enough. These Fulani herdsmen, they deliberately jeopardize our food security in their attempt, because it has always been their attempt, it has always been their plan, in their attempt to make the Biafran people to be food dependent on the Fulani. They not only make it unsafe for our people to carry out their vocation as farmers, subsistence farmers, or even those who are farming on scale commercially, or on commercial scale. They feed the sweat of our people for their cows. They simply go into a farmland that somebody spent weeks and months to cultivate, destroy it, and feed it to their cows. And nobody says anything. Nobody does anything. They deliberately deprive our people their means of sustenance. This is deliberate. Because if you begin to go to a barn full of yam and you begin to feed your cows, no longer feeding the cows with grasses and every other thing that is in farm, they go to the barns and destroy the barns and feed the cows with the yams in these bands, and the ones that are left, they set them on fire. Are this not a deliberate plan that is being coordinated from above, those who are in charge of these headers? The most senseless or incomprehensible part of all this thing, all this Fulani and their cow, is that our consumption of Fulani cows is directly our willing financing their own terror. Because through our consumption of their cows, we buy these cows, we pay them money. We make the funds available to Miyetti Allah to purchase more weapons to attack our communities. We make the funds available to Miyetti Allah to purchase arms and ammunition to kill our people and to burn down our communities, burn down our properties. Does it make sense to anybody? Why would you still continue in, like they will say, kuro kuro, just with your eyes open? And you know that these are the source of your problem. But it's like foolhardiness. You continue to give the little that you have for your enemy to equip himself in order to come and kill you. The more of Fulani cows we consume, our people must understand. The more of Fulani cows you consume, the more we enable their genocide against our people. The more we encourage them to come down to our land and to kill us and to destroy us. Their agenda they have not, thanks to Chukwu Okike, they have not been able since 200 years or thereabout, or even more, going back further. They have not been able to actualize their single objective of dipping the Quran in the Atlantic Ocean of the Biafran waters. And now some of us have fallen, we are willingly, giving them what they need to continue their agenda of wiping us out of existence. Another reason is spiritual and in other way, health-wise. We must understand that the cows the Fulani bring into our land are not just normal or ordinary cows. These are cows used in committing bestiality. And to explain of course, those who, I'm sure many of us understand what bestiality means. But I'm going to say it in simple man's word, so that we will understand what we are using our own hands to bring upon our head. These headers, they engage in such sexual intercourse with these animals. The videos are everywhere. And I want our people after tonight to circulate these videos for people to see. They will have sex with these animals, bearing in mind, Biafrans, that these Fulani cow headers, bearing in mind that these headers that are having sexual intercourse with these animals may be suffering from all manner of diseases such as HIV, tuberculosis, or any of such dangerous and terrible sicknesses. They will now transfer whatever cause sickness that is in them into the animal. And These cows, they will now kill with their poisoned knives and give to us to eat in the form of suya or sold raw in our markets. We will go and buy cows and we will go and buy cow meat in the market and we will be believing, yes, we have of course bought some proteinous food for our well-being, while the opposite is actually the case. We buy these cow meats and eat damnation to ourselves. Strange illnesses and sicknesses are befalling our people daily, and unexplained deaths occur among our youths daily as well. You must understand, and those of us who know who you are, if you desecrate the temple that you are, the temple of Chukwuabiama that we are, if you desecrate it, then you have called upon yourself any and every form of sickness and form of suffering that will come with eating a Fulani cow that has been spiritually infected and deliberately spiritually infected for your own downfall and to make you weak in spirit and weak physically. Biafrans must understand that our land is blessed with the best cow that one can imagine. Because as our land is blessed to produce in abundance every form of food that we can think of, as our land is also blessed with other resources, natural, so also are the animals found in our land blessed for our proper nourishment. These cows that we call in Igbo language Efi-Igbo, these native cows that are native to our land, they are therefore there for us, offered to us, to Chukwu Okike, to give us the best of nourishment. And it is important that for that little discomfort that we may have for a month or two while making this change in our eating habit, it is in the long run for our well-being and for the well-being of our children. We must return to what Chukwu Okike has made available to us, so that in doing that, we will cleanse the curse that we have brought upon ourselves from eating Fulani cows. There is an advantage when we revert to eating homebreed, local cows, native goats, and birds, chickens, and the rest of them. We will create jobs. We will create jobs for our people, for our youths who, after 4 or 5 years of studies, they will come out and they will be roaming the streets with no one actually caring what becomes of them. Jobs will be created. This is one of the very obvious economic benefits inherent in our consumption of our homebreed native cows. It is therefore important that entrepreneurs in our land must open native cow ranches across the length and breadth of Biafra land and employ our youths in these ranches. They will make their money, and of course our youth will also have jobs. Those who are selling cow meat in our market, take note of this. There are sources in Ebonyi, there are sources in Anambra, there are sources in every other part of Biafra land, even in Bayelsa State, in Delta State, where one can, at a very fair price, purchase local native cows that they can kill in the abattoirs and of course sell to our people. There is something that I need to reiterate very seriously tonight, and why I'm reiterating this tonight is because I listened to the new governor of Anambra State talking about factions, and this faction there. There are no factions in IPOB. There are no factions whatsoever. Not one faction in IPOB. I am stating this for those who are probably hard in hearing. The indigenous people of Biafra worldwide is led by Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. IPOB one family. IPOB one family. IPOB one family, not two family, not two whatever faction or nonsense that people are mounting around, without really thinking. There is only one IPOB, and this IPOB is led by Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He as well is the director of Radio Biafra and the commander of the Eastern Security Network. IPOB is under one central command, and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the supreme leader and commander of this great movement and all its institutions. For those who are heard in her, I'm saying this for your benefit, but we know what the enemies are. We know their plan. We know their what they are after. We know what they want to achieve and where they're going to. The Directorate of State of the Indigenous People of Biafra is the highest institution in the institutional structure of IPOB, the DOS, short say. That is the highest institution in the institutional hierarchy of IPOB structure. And the DOS runs the affairs of this great movement with all its different departments on a day-to-day basis. Why am I making this clarification tonight? I am making this clarification tonight because it has become very necessary. We have heard politicians making statements that they met with IPOB leadership. My question to these people is simple. Did you meet our supreme leader in the DSS detention, or did you meet the IPOB Directorate of State? This is a simple question to those who claim that they met with IPOB leadership. Did you visit Onyendu in DSS dungeon? If you did, then that is correct. You have met IPOB leadership. In fact, you have met the top of the top of it. But if the answer to the above question is in the negative, then understand that you did not meet with any IPOB leadership. The IPOB family members worldwide must know. They must know. And because on this platform, we have a duty, a responsibility to tell you the way it is, so that what you hear on this platform, it is the simple home truth, not gossips there and there. The family of IPOB worldwide must know that the DOS has never met with any zoo politician, not before our leader was extraordinary renditions, and not during this period that he is illegally incarcerated. The Directorate of State, we have never met a zoo politician, to talk less of meeting with politicians of Biafran extraction who have sold their conscience to the devil for a pot of porridge. We have not met them, and we are not ready to meet any of them, while our leader still remains in the hand of the enemy. That is the message I want to give to our family members worldwide tonight, that they understand that on this platform, what we say is what it's how it is. The truth, and nothing but the truth. Again, politicians, I will enjoin them to guard their utterances. Whether you are a governor, whether you are a local government councillor, or you are a senator, whatever you may be, because the reason is, if it is your hope that IPOB will be factionalized by saying that there are factions in IPOB, then I will tell you on this platform tonight that be rest assured that your government will be decapitated into factions. If those who are mounting this nonsense about IPOB having factions, if it is your wish, then be ready to have your own government decapitated into faction, because this family is under one central command, and there is no faction in IPOB family worldwide. The zoo government, they tried it in the past. They tried to create so many factions, but they have forgotten that what we call Umuchineke, the children of Chukwokike, the hardcore IPOB family member, we are not just the usual ordinary Biafran that they used to know. We have been called for this project. We have been called for this assignment. The DSS, they tried it, but you can see, we can all see where they are today, with all their whatever name they gave it, and setting up phantom names as leaders and whatever. Each time our leader is under their custody, their major objective is to see if they can penetrate into this very movement and destroy the structure. But this movement is heaven ordained. This very IPOB that our leader Onyendu is the supreme leader is heaven ordained movement, and the spirits of our ancestors, the spirit that guard our land, Biafra land, they are in complete sync with our agitation. Therefore, when you fight and you think you are fighting Mazedozim, or you're fighting members of DOS, or you're fighting our national coordinator in Biafra land, or our coordinator, unit coordinator, you are mistaken, Because you're not just fighting David. You are in a channel the spirits that own our land. I can't. Sorry, if I speak Igbo, I'll translate. I'll try and say it in English. You are asking the spirit that own Biafra land. You are asking them to come out for the fight, and you alone, you will not even live to tell the result of that fight. To be forewarned is to be forearmed. I have to speak to our elders tonight as well. Our elders and the clergy who genuinely, I believe, want to add their quota to all the disparate, all the different efforts being undertaken to secure the immediate and unconditional release of our leader. I know that you know your assignment is clear and straightforward. And I also know that you know that Biafrans expect that you focus on that your assignment. We respect our elders, of course we do, and specifically those who are on the side of their own people. We respect them. Many of them can attest to that. But we will shred you if by any reason it comes out that you are using the lives of our people for selfish reasons and for selfish purposes. This is what the leadership, the respect, now I'm talking about the respect that we have for elders. This is what we have learned from Onyendu, our leader. Because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is such a humble person. When he vibrates, when the spirit take over him, when he is on air, you may think he is unreachable. But when he comes in contact with elders, you will notice that this man is a special breed. Despite and irrespective of the millions that he commands, the millions that are trotting and following him, he humbles himself before our elders. We have learned this. However, anyone that makes the miscalculation of taking this, our respect for elders, for granted, will have himself or herself to blame. Anyone, if you're a clergy, if you're a traditional ruler, if you, anything that you think you are, if you're on the side of our people, you have a willing partner in our POB. Any elder or politician, be it a local government councillor, up to the governor of a state that stands firmly on the side of our people and work solely, singularly for the interests of our people, whether it is our people in the riverine or our people in the upland region of Biafra land. Such a person will find IPOB led by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu a willing partner to work with, because this singular love for our people and the desire to elevate them out of the oppressive condition in which we have found ourselves in the damnable contraption called the Zoological Republic of Nigeria. It is this singular love and the desire to serve our people that is the driving force of this great movement. It is this singular love for our people that has made Onyendu to, oh my goodness, to command millions without spending a dime. It is the love for his people. It is the desire to see an end to their suffering. It is the desire to ensure that the future generations, they have a dream which they can bring into friction. It is this singular love that has brought, of course, both the good and the ugly. But one thing is what is driving this very moment. It is that love. And anyone who loves our people and wants to serve our people, I can assure you, you will have a willing partner in our leader, and you will have a willing partner in IPOB leadership. The new governor of Anambra State, Governor Soludo, in collaboration with the Council or Committee of Bishops and Archbishops and Traditional Rulers, past Monday, they called for a prayer. They called for a prayer for the peace and security of Igbo land and Southeast in general. But in the same vein, in the same call for prayer for our well-being, they also called for a prayer for the unity of the zoo, Nigeria. I was like, wait a minute. My first question, when I read and heard and listened to the initiators of this prayer event, was, which Nigeria are they talking about that they want to pray for its unity? Which Nigeria do they want to pray for its continuous well-being? Is it the same Nigeria that is massacring your children and destroying their properties? The same Nigeria that uses its security agencies to rape and defile your daughters and even your wives and mothers? Is it this same Nigeria that kidnapped your son from Kenya, tortured him to the point of death, and still subjecting him to both physical and psychological torture in the custody of the DSS? Is it this same Nigeria? This same Nigeria that sends Fulani terrorists into your forest, into our forest to commit mass murder in our communities, and then turn around to protect them? They will send the terrorists into our land, and when the terrorists will attack a community, some governors will call the government, and they will not even reach them. They will not reach them until what? The attack has been done and it's over, and the attackers have gone. They will now take their call, and if in any manner the youth of the area wants to do what? Wants to mobilize and pursue these attackers, you will see the army. Now they will come and begin to even kill those who are defending themselves against terrorists. Is it this same Nigerian government, this same contraption that you are praying for? Your children have been rounded up under your nose on a daily basis. They are being rounded up, transported up north, distributed into different police, army, and DSS underground detention dungeons, where they use these your children as sex slaves. And you do not care about these victims. You do not care about these your children. You do not care about your people. What you are telling us, the victims of the Nigerian oppression and genocide, is to pray for the unity and well-being of the evil British creation. You are telling us to pray that our oppressors may prosper. may remain that they will now continue to kill us, to wipe us out of the face of this very earth. You will agree with me that something definitely does not add up here. It is like asking the Jews to pray for the well-being of Nazi Germany at the height of the Holocaust. Does it make sense to anybody? After a very careful analysis of the implication of your call, I'm now talking to the governor of Anambra State, the new governor of Anambra State, and the elders that call themselves bishops and archbishops and traditional rulers, that are calling and telling our people to come and pray for the unity of Nigeria. It's like you saw our wound and you take a knife and put inside that wound, and you are turning the knife into that wound. You tell us to pray for the continued existence of our oppressive enemy. It dawned upon me that we, the indigenous people of Biafra, and the new Anambra State governor, together with their council committee of bishops and archbishops and traditional rulers, have a totally opposing objectives. I have a message tonight. I have a message for the new governor of Anambra State and his praying council or praying committee. Praying for the good and well-being of Nigeria is a no-go for us. It is unheard of. It is incomprehensible for the IPOB worldwide family. The indigenous people of Biafra cannot and will never allow such travesty to happen in our land going forward. If part of the agenda of the new governor, if I am giving the benefit of doubt here, but if by dint of whatever, part of your agenda is for the continued existence of the damnable, evil, and backward entity called the Zoological Republic of Nigeria, then our governor of Anambra State will not need any soothsayer to tell him that he is on a direct head-on collision course with the indigenous people of Biafra worldwide. I said, if that is his agenda for the continued existence of the zoo, then we have a diametrically opposing objective. And what that means is that he is on a very, very serious head-on collision with IPOB. I will state, for the avoidance of doubt, our objective is to dismantle this edifice of Satan that has held us hostage for decades, stunting our physical and spiritual development and growth. It is our objective to ensure that Nigeria will not, after the restoration of Biafra, it will not, the name Nigeria will no longer be, in fact, it will be a taboo name. In case they are not aware, if anybody have not told all of you, we, the indigenous people of Biafra worldwide, we are under oath, one singular oath to restore Biafra, the kingdom of Chukwuabiama on earth. If nobody has ever told you, I'm telling you now, we are under oath and Biafra must be restored. We are also under oath to ensure, to secure freedom and liberty for our people. And by doing that, ensure that the zoo called Nigeria ceases to be an entity that will ever oppress any indigenous people anymore found within that artificial contraption. It is therefore very imperative that our objective and position is clearly stated and not be mistaken by any governor or any politician or any clergy or any traditional ruler, so that they are properly guided in their public actions and in their public utterances. Let me say that it was because of that respect that I earlier alluded to, which we accord our elders, that prevented us from directing our people to ignore such hypocritical prayer for the well-being of our enemy and our oppressor. It was simply because of the respect our leader has for all these our elders, and which we have imbibed. The indigenous people of Biafra will certainly not pray for our subjection, for our continued subjugation. We will certainly not pray for our oppressors to continue to oppress us by asking our ancestors, or asking Chukwu for that matter, that he allows the zoo, the edifice of evil, the zoological republic, to continue in existence. We will definitely not be part of that, as that is completely opposite to our objective. You have now been informed. You have now been informed. At the end of the day, this very broadcast will also be made, will be distributed, that people who are not listening tonight, they will have the opportunity to listen to it. We have now informed you. In Igbo language, we say, Aye jigolu nu ogu jielo no gene ofo. We have come before equity with clean hands. Going forward, now that we have informed you, the leadership of the indigenous people of Biafra will publicly direct our people not to pay any heed to such call for prayers for Nigeria in the future, if ever that repeats itself. If that repeats itself, we will publicly and openly direct our people properly. We will show them leadership and what to do. There is an intelligent report at our disposal detailing a plan by the Nigerian government to use some civil society organizations and the zoo media to try and hoodwink the international community. In a meeting they had today with some of these civil society organizations, in that meeting the DSS and some other security agencies were in attendance. And in that meeting as well, they deliberately excluded some human rights organizations and civil society organizations such as Amnesty International and Inter-Society for Civil Liberty. These two organizations were not invited to this very meeting. They were not invited for obvious reasons, because these will not be amenable to the evil plans of the Nigerian government. Going and flowing from what transpired at that meeting, I IPOB want to use tonight to put the international community on notice to watch out for the lies that will be rolled out in the coming days and weeks by this lying government in collaboration with some morally decadent civil society organizations and morally deprecate Zoo Media. Part of their game plan is to attempt. They want to attempt to change the narrative by presenting the victims of their atrocities, who of course are the indigenous people of Biafra, as if we are the aggressors, in their attempt as well to divert world attention from the atrocities they are committing in Biafra land on a daily basis, and from more atrocities in the pipeline that they are planning to commit in the future. They want to divert the attention of the international community, and some of our people are telling us to pray for this entity that do not mean well for us. It is still fresh in our minds, very, very fresh, that the DSS was in possession of an intel about the Abuja Kaduna train bombing, in which scores of people were killed and still unascertained number kidnapped. The DSS, the Nigerian Security Agency, they had the intel. But what did they do? They did nothing, because it's part of their plan. It is also still fresh in our memories that this same DSS had also intelligence that Fulani terror groups, they were planning to attack the MKO Abiola Stadium during a football match between Ghana and the Zoo. They had that intel as well. But what did they do? The DSS, very, 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 I'm short of the proper word to use for them. They actually sent out a circular to other government agencies with their usual lies that IPOB planned to attack the stadium, when the intel at their disposal clearly revealed that an attack was planned by Fulani terror groups. They created a stampede in the stadium, the DSS now, and this resulted in the death of a CAF official. This is the Zoo for you. A government, an institution, or a contraption of evil and wickedness. Lies. They have no honor. There's no more shame in them. The world community must watch out for more of such lies and propaganda from the Zoo Republic and its agencies, which and who will be working in collusion with some NGOs and some CSOs, that is civil society organizations. The world community must be watchful, and of course we are watchful. The IPOB, our M branch, they are doing their marvelous work, and they will continue to do their marvelous work. What they plan in the dark, it will come out in the open. We will expose them with all their lies. And as I'm speaking to you tonight, very terrible things are happening in our land. Things that when you see them, you are asking yourself, What creator are these people? These people that call themselves politicians and political leaders. Who made them? Who made them? Are they really, do they really have human sympathy in them at all? Very terrible things are happening in our land. Just today, corpses of 3 or more women were discovered in Olo, Imo State, where the Supreme Court administrator is overseeing the ongoing annihilation of our people. Women who women that you know that the land, Ajane Biafra, pursue all these people who have turned the land to be flowing with blood. You must pursue them. The spirit of our land must pursue them. I don't know. It's not, death is not even, they are not even worthy to die. When you take into account the atrocities, the evil, the wickedness, the heartlessness, the barbarism of the actions they take against their own people. You can't wish them there because they will die. It's like it's over. But I know that what will befall them, like Oyendu always say, the ear that hears it will tingle. It will tingle at the appropriate time. The Supreme Court administrator is overseeing unimaginable atrocities in our land. Houses are burned, villages are sacked, the military are killing like as if they are not even in a war, because in a war, there are what they call route of engagement. You will spare the civilians. But the civilians, our people, the civilians, the unarmed Biafran people have become their major target because we are not armed. That is why. They will not go to the north and confront the terrorists. They will not go to the north and confront those they call the bandits. Why? Because they have the same thing they have. Either it is out of that fear or because they are all the same, working for the same agenda. We are also aware, I want to state that also tonight, we are aware that the Nigerian army has been invited into Anambra State to open up another front of killing spree in our land. Yet, someone who claimed to be in their right senses, they are calling us for prayers. They are telling us to pray for these murderers, to continue to pray for these unconscionable people, so that they will continue in their state-sponsored acts of terror in our land. Great Biafrans, you all must be at alert and be prepared for what is coming. And like I said, they have all gathered, and because their gathering is not of Chukwu Abiyama, he will scatter them into the 4 winds that he has made and into the 7 corners of the world. They have all gathered, and because their gathering is the precursor of our total liberation, be prepared for the time ahead of us. It may be a little bit more difficult, but for a very, very short period, our salvation is around the corner. I'm going to make some announcements tonight. IPOB undertaking document, which we have made available to our continental reps worldwide. Continental reps, please, this very night, make that undertaking available to every national coordinator. Make that undertaking available to every regional representative. And our regional reps, where we have them, make them available to your to the structures under your authority and under your control, or under your jurisdiction. And national coordinators and state coordinators make the same undertaking available to zonal and unit coordinators. Every principal officer must sign that undertaking and return it to his superior that made it available to him in the first place. We will collect them back and keep it in our archives. To continue our sanitization of this noble family, so that we are ready and certain that only hardcore and die-hard loyalists of Onyindu and the structure he established are in this critical battle together with us. Anyone who does not understand what discipline means in a freedom fighting movement such as ours simply has no place in IPOB. You do not belong here, and we do not want you here, because you will be the weak link through which the enemy will come in, and we do not want to let any of our flanks open to allow the enemy to come in. Therefore, the following persons who have made their choice by allowing devil to enter them and use them as tools and agents of destabilization of this noble movement, these collaborators, these infiltrators in our midst, claiming to be IPOB family members, they are as follows, and they are hereby expelled from this movement. We are sifting out the chaff from the wheat, and you will count yourself as one of the called at the end of this very process. The names are as follows: Chima Obi Mbama, Anambra South Senatorial Coordinator; Ikechukwu Obiora, known also as well, they have the alias, he goes by Elijah, is Ekusigo Local Government Coordinator. Mrs. Chinwe Udewunam, Anambra Central Women Leader. Mark Obulo, Agwata Operative and Commander. Mazi Bob Festus Chukudebele from Heidenheim unit in Germany. Mazi Chidi Ngene, Cape Verde IPOB family, and Mazi Erasmus Ogogwa as well, Cape Verde. These individuals from tonight, they made their own decision. We do not force you if you do not want to belong to this very noble movement. We will allow you to go, but we will not allow you to be in our midst and to be the bad apple that will affect the other very good apples and spoil them. You cannot be in our midst. Therefore, you haven't made that decision. You are no longer part of IPOB worldwide family. If I may repeat their names again: Chima Obi Mbama is Anambra South Senatorial Coordinator; Ikechukwu Obiora, known with the alias of Elijah, Ekusigo Local Government Coordinator; Mrs. Chinwe Udewunam, Anambra Central Women Leader; Mark Okbolo, Agwata Commander; Mazi Bob Festus Chukwu Debelo is a member of IPOB Heidenheim unit in Germany. Mazi Chidi Ngene is from Cape Verde, that is IPOB family in Cape Verde, and Mazi Erasmus Ogogwa, IPOB Cape Verde. They are no longer part of this noble family, they are expelled. The following persons as well are suspended from their position of service indefinitely. They are suspended for acts of indiscipline, acts of insubordination. We cannot tolerate that. If after a specific period of time you have not purged yourself of your indiscipline, we will show you the way. We will show you the way. That is simple. And these people that are suspended are as follows. Mazi Emeka Nadi from Enugu North Senatorial, well, he is Enugu North Senatorial Coordinator, and his deputy as well, Mazi Eze Malaki. And all those who are working with them that have turned these very senatorial region into they have turned it into something that is very strange and un-IPOB. These individuals are suspended indefinitely. Mazi Liberty Aboni, Nsukka Local Government Area Coordinator. Mazi Oluchi Ugu, Iweze South Local Government Area Coordinator, and Mazi Chijoke Peter Ata, Ozowani Local Government Area Coordinator. These 5 individuals are suspended indefinitely from their positions. After due consultation, new officers will be appointed to replace them. We must continue in our prayers. We must continue to commit Onyendu, our leader, with sincerity of heart, with one purpose, into the hands of our ancestors, the spirits that guard Biafra land, and into the care of all merciful and almighty Chukwuka, that he and our ancestors may continue to keep him, may continue to preserve him, may continue to protect him, because it is to Chukwuka, it is to him we give glory, because he alone has preserved our leader from the plans of the enemy. And we must unceasingly continue to pray that he shall envelop him under his protective wings and turn every plan of the enemy against Onyendu back to those who are planning such evil against him. We say back to sender. We do not pray for our enemies. We will not turn our cheek. When you slap us, we turn our cheek for you to slap the other one. Chukwuka forbid. The land of Biafra will swallow the spirit of our ancestors. Will send them after you, and Chukwuka shall give you judgment as you desire. So we must continue to pray that Chukwuka will continue. Chukwuka Eke Kreni Abasi, as our other language is calling, will continue to keep him, preserve him, protect him, and grant him victory over our traducers and all workers of evil, and anyone or spirit that is standing in our way to freedom. Biafra for us is not just a name. Biafra is not just a name for us. It is more than our heritage. It is more than our identity. Biafra is our being. It is our religion. And it is on this platform that we daily gather to praise Chukwokike. To him alone we bow our head, the creator of heaven and earth. We answer the name that shows who we are. Chukwude, Chibueze, Chinedum, Chukwuemeka, all of that name that bring his name glory. It is on this platform that we come every night to worship and bow down to him, and to him alone we worship, and to him alone we bow down to, and to him alone we will give glory and praise at the end of all this battle, for victory is assured to the children of light. Thank you for listening. From me, from here, I want to say to you, remain tenacious, remain focused, remain committed. Do not allow yourself to be distracted. We are making great and unbelievable progress in our march to freedom, and of course in our work to make sure our leader rejoins us sooner than later. May Chukwabema be with you all. And from me, I want to say good night and sleep well. Dankeschön.
the department, Mazi Chike Doziem, and so shall it be. All hail Biafra, and God bless Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. God bless the family of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. God bless IPOB worldwide. God bless Biafra's IPOB one family. IPOB one family. One family IPOB. And I want you to understand we are more, together than ever before. Anybody that is preaching against the leadership of IPOB is an enemy of IPOB, is an enemy of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. But we are going to know if it is ranting on social media only that is going to help in what we are about to achieve, or doing things diplomatically behind the scene. Thank you for watching. From me to you, it is good night.